This is not gonna go the way you think. What up, big kids? Here's your big review of Star Wars The Last Jedi. We're gonna talk non-spoilers in the beginning, and then we'll get into spoilers here. So 1.5 spoilers of the spoilers section. But I love this movie, you guys. This is the second of the new trilogy. I really love the direction of Rian Johnson, just in not only the directing, but the direction of where the Star Wars universe is going. We're seeing things we've never seen in a Star Wars movie. Even it takes like really what I loved about The Force Awakens and Rogue One and mashes together in just an amazing, thought-provoking, emotional film. And damn, this movie gave me those feels in so many ways. So let's talk about the cast. Daisy Ridley's Rey is hands down one of my favorite Star Wars female characters. Right, her and Leia, which I'll get into Leia here in a second, are like really make Star Wars for me when it comes to powerful female characters. And yeah, I absolutely love Rey. Daisy Ridley just really owns the character, like the emotion and the conflict, and it just, oh, I love her. And I love her new outfit. She looks so badass. And I'll get into some spoilers of what I really love, some amazing scenes, and they answer some questions about her that fans have been wondering for a couple years now. And Kylo Ren, Adam Driver's Kylo Ren. By the way, it's a minor spoiler, but you finally see his 8-pack. He's shredded, man. Kylo Ren is shredded. But no, really, he is one of my favorite. He is right below Darth Vader and my favorite Star Wars villains of all time. That's how good he is. I love the conflict in him. I love. He's just so thought-provoking in these 2 Star Wars films he's been in so far. Then, as much as we got from Darth Vader, Anakin in 6 films, or 7 if you count Rogue One. But yeah, really, he is amazing, and I love him. And even though it's sad, and you see in the trailer that he destroys the helmet, I love that helmet. But you know, seeing a villain that isn't just under a mask like Darth Vader was, it's so great, and I can't wait to see where they take him in Episode 9. Now, Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill. This has to be one of Mark Hamill's best performances. I mean, he has done an amazing job with Luke in the original trilogy, but just to see Luke, 30-something years later, he's been through so much crap, and to see his failures and him, oh my god, it was just, I got so emotional with Mark Hamill scenes, and if you love Luke Skywalker, you'll love this movie. I mean, Luke Skywalker is my favorite Star Wars character, and I really felt like they did him justice. And oh my god, I'll talk about more in the spoiler section. But Finn, John Boyega, I still love Finn, and he had some really amazing moments, which I'll get to the spoiler section. But I was a little sad we didn't get to see more of him and Rey interacting. You don't really see it till towards the end, but yeah, he is so great, especially with the new character Rose, which Rose is amazing. Kelly Marie Tran, who plays Rose, I love the new characters in this film. Rose was so great. I love seeing Asian actresses in mainstream movies, especially now in these big budget movies like Star Wars movies. And her and her sister Paige they have both amazing moments in here. And but yeah, I can't wait to see more of her, and she is such a great addition to the Star Wars universe. And yeah, I love her interactions with Finn, and their storyline is kind of like a side story in the main stories of this movie. But when I get into the spoiler section, their main journey ties in together with especially the overall arc of the film. Oscar Isaac, Poe Dameron, I love him in the first movie. He not only has some amazing comedic moments in this movie, but wow, his growth in this movie is just so great, and I'm really excited to see more of him. He is like the new Han Solo of this new trilogy, and Oscar Isaac, I love him. Love Poe Dameron in here. Andy Serkis as Snoke. I'll get into spoilers, but wow, not only is the Admiral, he's a really great threat, and I love Andy Serkis' performance. We don't get to see much of him, and I'll get into spoilers about a big thing that happens, but yeah, Snoke just looked really cool. I actually just picked up the Black Series Snoke, and I really liked his design, and yeah, he was a force to be reckoned with. Domhnall Gleeson's General Hux has some great comedic moments, actually, and I actually really, he is like, I think, the new Tarkin. Yeah, he's definitely the new Tarkin, and I really love his performance, and he was definitely you know, even more so than Snoke, I think a great villain, and he's just so sneezely and Weasley, you know. But yeah, I really love him, and I really can't wait to see more of him in Episode 9. Now, let's see. Captain Phasma. I would say she definitely has more to do in this movie, and she has a great scene with Finn that you see in the trailers. But I'll get into more spoilers and stuff. So she kind of redeems herself, but we would have seen more. And Laura Dern as Vice Admiral Holdo, she was amazing. I love her character. Oh man, she has a pivotal scene, but yeah, her character throughout the movie was so great. I love her in Jurassic Park, and I was really happy to see her really add something to the Star Wars universe. And a lot of great female characters in this movie with Rey, Rose, and now, yeah, this is what I'm leading into. Carrie Fisher. This has to be her final performance, and her scenes were just so emotional. You get to see things that Leia you always wanted to do, and Leia, this shows how much I love Leia Organa, Leia Skywalker, whatever you want to call her, Princess Leia, General Leia. It's so great to see our princesses grow up to be generals, and man, Leia was just amazing in this film, and I am just so sad that we'll never get to see Carrie Fisher act in the movie again. And yeah, it was really emotional, especially there's a scene here, which I'll get into spoilers, that really just touched me so much, and wow. But yeah, Carrie Fisher, I miss you. Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. I love you so much. And yeah, so the action was amazing. I think if you love the Rogue One's action scenes and even the Force Awakens action scenes, you'll love this because it's like a combination of both. Some really great war moments, especially on Crate, which I've been playing a lot of Battlefront 2, so anytime I'm playing on the Crate level, I'm just like, I feel like I'm in the movie. Or when I saw The Last Jedi, because I was playing the Crate levels, I was like, oh my god, I feel like, oh my god, I've been here, so it's like, this is amazing, I know what it's like. And so it gave me that Rogue One feeling. But this movie does so much better than, as much as I enjoyed Rogue One, I really loved the last third of the movie, because the beginning parts, I just like, come on, get to Scarif. Once it gets to Scarif, like, I love the movie, but before that, I'm just like, think it's a waste of time. But this movie, from beginning to end, even though there is some parts that drag, like, I feel like The Force Awakens was a little bit better pace. This movie takes a lot of philosophies of the Star Wars, like both in the war aspects and the Jedi aspects. It touches upon about so many directions and things that Star Wars hasn't gone before, and I absolutely loved it. So with that said, I give The Last Jedi a 5 Force pushes out of 5. Now, let me get into spoilers here. So, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. So, the spoilers, now we'll talk about what happened. So, where do we begin? So, the Kylo Ren-Rey relationship, wow. I actually am really shipping them hard. People were saying like Finn and Rey, but now it's like, wow, it's like Kylo Rey or Reylo Ren, or I don't know what you want to call it, but wow, there was some real sexual tension there. It's like, oh my god, when they're holding hands, and yeah, and they were really trying to turn each other to the light side or the dark side, and yeah, and then that scene where Snoke seemed like gonna have Kylo kill Rey, but then in turn he moves the lightsaber and yep, Snoke had to split, but wow, I did not expect that. I said, this is not going to go the way you think, and wow, I did not expect it. It had a really Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back mixed feeling, where the Empire Strikes Back, where our heroes are really decimated, but at the same time, the Return of the Jedi with having like moments of a Palpatine character showing the fleet about to lose, but then, you know, the him getting bested by his apprentice, you know, that was very Return of the Jedi feeling, which I love. Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie, so I didn't mind that at all, the callbacks, but yeah, so when Kylo kills Snoke, and then you see Kylo and Rey working together with the plating guards, I always forget how I call them, but yeah, that was amazing. Those guards did so much more than the royal guards did for Palpatine. They were amazing. They were like, that was one of my favorite action scenes in the film. That was so cool. Oh my god. And yeah, and then the conflict with Kylo and Rey, like, is he gonna come to the light side, or, you know, and then, you know, he has so much conflict, like in the trailer, like he decides not to pull the trigger on killing his mom, which I really thought Leia was gonna die, and now right after, where Because, by the way, we lose Admiral Abark. It's a wrap for Admiral Abark. It was so sad to see him die in that scene. But Leia uses the Force and pulls herself out of space, and she survived. And that was absolutely amazing. I always wanted to see Leia use the Force. So, even though, and she even uses it later to take down the door to get Poe out of, from the mutiny. And that was amazing. That was so good. Let's talk about Luke. Luke has such a journey throughout this whole Star Wars saga, and to see him fall from grace because he still had the conflict. That's what's always been so great about Luke Skywalker. In the original trilogy, he's very hot-headed in the beginning. He goes and in that vision with Yoda on Dagobah, cuts off Vader's head, but he sees himself in that helmet, and that's always been the conflict. Like his father before him, he's a good guy, but he can easily turn to the dark side, which Anakin did. But Luke has always been above that, and even though he's had moments of darkness and anger, and it shows him that he knew that Ben Solo was going to turn to the dark side and do so much damage, and he was about to stop it, but then he stops himself, even though Ben wakes up, and then that what pretty much turns Ben into Kylo Ren, and he feels guilty, and that was such a great character moment. Shows how much of both characters, both Luke and Ben Solo, Kylo Ren, can really change in just one moment of of conflict and choosing the light and the dark, and Luke talking about the Jedi and how the Jedi have failed many times, and talking about with the prequel era and then the original trilogy, and there's so many great aspects they touch upon about, even though they don't go full on gray Jedi, it's pretty much talking about how the balance and it needing maybe the yin and yang of the Force, and that the Force is definitely something with the Jedi going full on monk, or not getting married and all that stuff, it can cause so much conflict, and it really touches upon so many philosophy aspects of life and religion in the Force, and I love that, and that's something I always love that Star Wars touch upon, but it really touches upon in a whole different way. And I love that, and then going into Rey's parentage, that we learned that Rey wasn't Luke's daughter, he was not Han and Leia's daughter, he's not Obi-Wan's granddaughter. No, at least from what Kylo says, it could be a lie, but Kylo is saying that they were just scavengers that left her daughter, traded in daughter for slavery, and then pretty much she was just nobody that granted the powers of Force. And that's something I really love, and that this new trilogy is touched upon. Star Wars, as much as started out about the Skywalker family, it's not just about the Skywalker family. It's there's so many great characters in the Star Wars universe, so many new characters they could touch upon. Star Wars Rebels has shown that too. That the Force isn't something that's just a Skywalker thing. It's something that anyone can have. Anyone all across the universe can have the power of the Force and use that for light or dark. And that's something that I love that this movie touched upon with, the kid that Finn and Rose help free all those creatures in the movie. At the end of the movie, you see a great scene where the kid using the Force to grab the broom and looking into the stars, holding the broom like a lightsaber. And that, to me, was such a great way to end the movie, where anyone could become a Jedi or use the Force. And that's just something that I'm glad that Star Wars, these movies, are touched upon. And especially touching moments, Luke Skywalker, man. So what I was talking about, where Luke and comes back on Crate and faces Kylo Ren, and before that we get to see Luke and Leia, because that's one thing that's sad about in this new trilogy, we didn't even see Han, Luke, and Leia together. We saw Han and Leia, but then now Luke and Leia, and it was such a touching moment, totally teared me up, and when pretty much knowing that he has to either kill Ben Solo or he's going to get killed himself. And such a great moment for Luke Skywalker. He had a very Obi-Wan feel to him, how he was pretty much ready to die or do what was necessary. And it was such a great moment. And then Luke, just the shock that he wasn't actually there, he force projected himself on Crate, and that's why they were shooting all these lasers at him and he was fine. I was like, thought it was a force shield thing, but no, he wasn't even there. He like force projected himself, which is really cool that they show that the force can be used in ways that we haven't seen before, and that was really awesome. And then from that, afterwards, when he talks to Kylo and saying like, "See you around, kid," and then he's back on the island and he's looking at the suns and like the two suns just like on Tatooine, harkening back to one of the most perfect scenes in A New Hope in the whole Star Wars franchise. And Luke becomes the Force becomes one with the Force and disappears. And yeah, a very satisfying goodbye to one of my favorite characters of all time. And what's great is that because of Star Wars, because of the Force Ghost, which I'm gonna get into the last bit here, Luke can easily come back and become a Force Ghost to either Rey or Kylo. He even talks about how if you strike me down, I will haunt you, just like, you know, Obi-Wan line, which is really great. And seeing the Force Ghost of Yoda, Puppet Yoda, come back was absolutely amazing. I did not expect that. Seeing Puppet Yoda, Frank Oz voicing him again, was just absolutely amazing. And he was hilarious. And seeing Luke and Yoda just looking at that fire of that Jedi tree, I was just like, wow, there's so many great moments. And very satisfying with, if you love the original trilogy characters and the new characters, like Vice Admiral Holdo, sacrificing herself, doing like a freaking, you know, warp or light speed into that Star Dreadnought or whatever, was absolutely amazing. I love how it was all silent. Just so many cool elements, and like Phasma like fighting Finn, and then like, you know, her part of her mask is showing you see her, or is open up so you can see her eye. That was absolutely so cool. And falls into the fire, but is she dead? Some people think she's dead, but she could come back. Who knows? We'll see. But absolutely love this movie, guys. I love the directions it takes us. I like the Resistance got decimated, but even though with a broken lightsaber of the Anakin Luke Rey lightsaber, you know, we have what we need to rebuild, and that's what it's all about. It's about things, letting the past die and going in new, and that's what the whole message of this film is. And yeah, like I said, I absolutely love this film, and I can't wait to see it again. I'm probably going to see it again tonight and many times. So what do you kids think of Star Wars The Last Jedi? Did you see it? Let me know in the comments below. Check out 1/6 Society, their Facebook group for 1/6 Scale Collectors, and BigBadToyStore.com for your latest and all your Star Wars The Last Jedi needs. And check out my website, SeanLongSong.com. Like me on Facebook, follow me to our Instagram, links in the description. I'm Sean Long, remember, live long and love life. I need someone to show me my place in all of this. You need a teacher. I can show you the ways of the Force. Show you can teach me how